Okay, let's just jump straight into it. Right now, there is absolute panic gripping the Brazilian national team, and we are just days away from the 2026 World Cup. In this explainer, we're going to unpack a wild narrative, one that mashes up undeniable generational talent, a devastating historical injury, and honestly, a massive managerial gamble.
So picture this. It's May 17th. Neymar is playing his very last club match before reporting to the national team camp, and bam, he suffers a grade 2 calf injury. Almost instantly, widespread panic spreads across the globe. Everyone's asking, is his final tournament run completely derailed? I mean, this is Brazil's all-time leading scorer we're talking about here. The timing literally couldn't be worse.
You can really see the agonizingly tight recovery window he's up against before Brazil's critical Group C matches. A grade 2 tear? That's a partial muscle tear. It basically demands a super strict 2 to 3 weeks of recovery. Now, he's already been ruled out of the warm-ups against Panama and Egypt, but the real nail-biter, that is the June 13th opener against a remarkably dangerous Morocco squad.
Section 1. 2 centimeters from paralysis. The 2014 trauma that changed everything. To really grasp the stakes here and understand why Brazil's medical staff is treating him like fragile glass right now, we have to rewind to that catastrophic 2014 World Cup quarterfinal against Colombia. That doctor's diagnosis? 2 centimeters to the side and football is over for you. It's just terrifying. A fractured vertebra from a knee to the back left Neymar completely unable to feel his legs on the pitch. It brought his entire career within a literal millimeter of a wheelchair.
Section 2. How injury rewired Neymar. The tactical evolution born from trauma. The source material reveals something absolutely fascinating. This near tragedy actually rewired his biomechanics and, as a result, completely perfected his footballing brain. He didn't just heal up, he evolved, out of pure necessity. We can clearly contrast the chaotic, explosive solo dribbler he used to be with the calculated, strategic orchestrator he was basically forced to become. Pre-2014, he dominated through sheer volume and speed. Post-injury, he shifted to quality dominance, doing way more damage with far fewer touches.
And the data backs this up in the coolest way. Because of that spinal trauma, biomechanical tracking shows his raw shot power actually dropped by 7.3%. His own body acted as a sort of internal governor, naturally limiting that violent trunk rotation just to protect his spine from further damage.
But, and here is the incredible trade-off to losing that raw power. His progressive passing accuracy surged by 11.2% in the seasons that followed. This was his distinct shift from an explosive risk-taker into a player of absolute surgical precision. He basically figured out, hey, I can tear defenses apart without putting my body directly in the line of fire.
His ball-dominant seconds just plummeted. He totally stopped holding the ball for 2 or 3 seconds to invite those chaotic double teams. Instead, he started deploying early layoffs, third-man combinations, and those incredible line-breaking passes. He used the defender's attention as a weapon to free up his teammates, all while keeping himself out of harm's way.
So the key takeaway here is that his movement routes fundamentally changed. By operating as a false nine playmaker, he drops deep into these interior pockets and half spaces. This lets him receive the ball facing the goal, orchestrating the tempo, and completely dodging those brutal blindside collisions from defenders that caused his 2014 trauma in the first place.
Section 3. Ancelotti's big 2026 gamble. Trusting the evolved orchestrator.
Let's see how all of this history informs the present day, and exactly why Brazilian manager Carlo Ancelotti is making a massive, unyielding bet on him for 2026, even with his new calf injury. When the media started panicking, asking if he'd still pick Neymar knowing the severity of the tear, Ancelotti didn't even flinch. He just said, if my grandfather had wheels, he would be a car. Since I decided on the lineup, Neymar has been in the 26 players. He firmly values that evolved playmaker's mind way over early-stage physical fitness.
Right now, the medical staff is executing a hyper-calculated plan. They are absolutely making sure they don't rush this calf recovery for a group stage opener against Morocco, which could easily jeopardize his availability for the later, decisive knockout stages. So they are aiming squarely at that June 19th match against Haiti for his return.
Section 4. Brazil's depth and Plan B. Can the Selecao survive the group stages without him?
This brings up a huge question that has the whole country holding its breath.
If he misses the Morocco opener, does this current Brazilian squad actually have the depth and tactical flexibility to survive without their orchestrator? Based on recent CBS Sports analysis, Brazil boasts a stellar attack, guys like Vini Jr. and Rafinha that can definitely hold the line. But look at that midfield. It's vulnerable, grading out at a B-. Weak depth there, and at fullback, means they desperately need Neymar's orchestrating skills to tie the whole team together, and soon.
So here is the grand strategy. Analysts argue that in this expanded World Cup format, where there's slightly more rest between games, the younger, pacey players are just going to have to do the heavy defensive running. They have to do the legwork, literally run for Neymar, while he provides that strategic magic and the killer final pass, because the end product is totally worth it.
Section 5. The final World Cup run. The legacy of the wounded playmaker.
Ultimately, what you should take away from this explainer is how this current injury narrative completely reframes his legacy as we head into what pretty much everyone expects to be his final World Cup appearance. That 2014 back trauma didn't destroy him. Actually, it imposed constraints that elevated his game sense. It transformed a chaotic street football prodigy into an incredibly resilient, tactical genius with elite decision density. Even off the ball, his positioning dictates the tempo. He remains the absolute, undeniable heart of Brazil's Joga Bonito.
So, as that June 13th kickoff rapidly approaches, we're left wondering, will Ancelotti's calculated gamble on the wounded playmaker finally deliver Brazil's long-awaited 6-star? Or is the physical toll on his body finally catching up with him for good? It is the ultimate storyline of the tournament, and we'll be watching every single minute of it unfold.